This is John Black, super chemist. Main one people have about how men need to treat women badly, otherwise they won't like you. Like they get these guys to treat them like crap, and that's the only way you can have a woman is treat them like crap. No, that is a myth. Okay, they want you to think that being a man is equated to being a horrible person. Okay, it's not that women flock to men that treat them like garbage. It's that women want one thing and one thing only, okay? And they won't admit it, okay? But it's not a man that treats them like garbage. What they want is a leader. That's it. If you can be a fair leader, most women, unless they're totally brainwashed into being a man, being a feminazi or whatever, they will like that. That's what they want. Okay, that's biology, man. That's biology, all right. And you could say, well, John, what are you talking about? I could see it in life. I don't need you to tell me. I could see that every time there's a dude treating a woman like crap, she's on him like dripping wet panties around him. You know what I mean? No. See, this is a lie, okay? All right? This is what's really happening. That's what you're seeing, okay? Now, what am I seeing? Okay, as a Pastafarian, what am I seeing? I'm seeing that men have been feminized and they aren't fair leaders anymore, okay? Because they're women now, okay? So they don't believe in leading, okay? Okay, so that's what the man is the leader, but now they ain't leaders anymore. They want to treat, if you treat a woman like a queen, she'll act like, guess what? A queen. And guess what a queen is? Let's define what a queen is. That's someone who's a dictator, a female dictator, who didn't scratch their way to the top to become dictator. No. They're an entitled dictator. They're entitled from birth. That's what it is that the woman looks around and all she sees is people that aren't leaders, okay? And so she gravitates to who? The only leader she sees, which is the toxic leader. He's not a fair leader, he's just a bad leader. But he's a leader nonetheless, okay? Being a good leader or a bad leader doesn't change. A leader is a leader. Did you ever think that since you're treating her like a queen, she realizes, right, you're not fair, because that's not fair to treat her like a queen. She's not a queen. She's not better than you, okay? But yet you're treating her like she's better than you, right? You're just giving her whatever she wants, just disregarding your own wants. That's not a good leader. That's not a leader at all, okay? When she is dictating stuff and you are giving and doing her every whim, you are not being a leader. You're not being a good leader. You're not being a bad leader, right? You're not being a leader. She's being the leader. So why does she leave you? Even though you're giving her everything that she wants and everything you asked for, everything she asked for? Because she really only asked for one thing, her biology. Only asked for one damn thing, and that was for you to be the leader. And you refuse to be the leader. So what does she do? She sees a bunch of simp dudes that'll give her the world, but they won't give her the one thing that she needs because her biology dictates it. Okay? She needs a leader. Alright? So she goes to that guy that treats her like crap, not because he treats her like crap. It's that she wants this so bad. She wants a man that's a leader so bad. It's so ingrained into her biology because it's part of a survival mechanism. So it's more than just biology. It's a survival mechanism biology. You know what I mean? So the only thing she wants, and if you were a Pastafarian, you know from the teachings, all a woman really wants, and I'm not saying every woman, everyone's different in general because of this, this mechanism, this survival mechanism, this bio mechanism. most women are going to follow that mechanism because it is such a strong urge. Okay, we shouldn't put people down that don't have the mechanism. But if you're not brainwashed by society like today, your mechanism is overwhelming. Even when you are brainwashed, you're going to get in. The woman will get into the relationship. They will never accept the fact that you are not the leader. Okay, that's how strong this survival biomechanism is. It's so strong that they will endure being beaten over a guy that gives her the world. They will endure the guy cheating nonstop over a guy that will give her the entire world. They will endure anything, any horrible thing that you could do to her. If she cannot find a leader somewhere else that's not better, which she can't, because no men today want to be the leader. They want to be equal. They want to be little bitches, okay? She doesn't want a little bitch, okay? She's a woman. She's not looking for a woman. She's looking for a man, okay? And if you ain't gonna lead, and you're gonna let her lead, her biology is not gonna let that happen. She's going to be resentful, okay? And that's why they get more and more. The more you give them, the more they resent you, because they're like, why are you making me be the leader? Why are you making me be the leader, man? I don't want to be the leader. Even if I tell you I want to be the leader, I don't want to be the leader. Why are you making me? You know?
I'm sure by now you've seen women on TikTok going viral stating they feel safer with a bear than a man.
Loved it.
And these women are sending a powerful and meticulously crafted political message that says to the world, we are bad at risk analysis, stop making us do it.
For years, the world has told women, we need more of you to trade crypto, gamble, enroll in actuarial sciences,
enter STEM fields,
and other risk analysis adjacent fields. And these women revolted by saying, enough is enough. I can't even tell if a human man is more dangerous than a bear. Please stop trying to force me to run a hedge fund.
And I gotta confess, because I'm guilty as anyone. When I saw that men are 91% more likely than females to be invested in the stock market, or that 95% of professional poker players are men, I thought these women are just being lazy. We need a few more articles to force them into these fields.
Ignorant.
Completely ignorant. And I'm ashamed to say that when I first saw the man or bear trend, I took it at face value, and I said, I know that driving a car is dangerous, for example, but I would obviously be safer on the road than in a cage with a mountain lion, even if there are fewer deaths by lions due to frequency of encounters. And these women are sending a powerful and meticulously crafted political message that says to the world, we are bad at risk analysis, stop making us do it.
For years.
But the proof is in the fact that they will endure anything with that toxic man only because of one thing. Hasn't anyone ever said, well, what is that one thing? Why do they keep doing that? Here's the answer! Here's the answer! Because they're a leader. Okay, they're a bad leader. But that just says how important and how strong. That just proves how strong this mechanism is, that they will endure anything. Anything. Okay? So just think how much power if you actually acted like a man instead of a little wuss that treated your woman like a queen, right? Let's say you acted like a fair leader, which is what a man is, okay? It's not someone who dominates. It's not someone who pushes people around. Not someone who oppresses someone, okay? It's someone who is a good, fair leader. That's it. Okay? It's not a king. Okay? You're not a king of your house, your castle. Okay? You're the leader. Okay? Kings are dictators that are pieces of garbage. They're inbred pieces of garbage, just like queens are inbred pieces of garbage. Okay? So if you have a somewhat normal woman, she will conform to her femininity. You know what I mean? If you are a fair leader, okay, and life will prove that you don't even have to be a fair leader. You can be a terrible leader, right? Because you can see all these men are terrible leaders. They're just treating her like crap, and she puts up with it because she doesn't care. A woman doesn't care about anything that you do for her, okay? What she cares about is if you're a fair leader, okay? What she really cares about is that you're a leader, really. That's all she cares about. Is she going to choose a fair leader over a crappy leader? Yes, she's going to choose the fair leader, unless she's like already broken. You know what I mean? She's been ran through by 500 guys, and she's already been married 3 times. Yeah, she's broken. Okay, but yeah, that's the main secret of getting a woman, keeping a woman. There's only 2 things that you may. I mean, there's a bunch of things, but there's 2 main things that make it all whatever. This is one of them. One is being a fair leader. Don't let the woman roll you over. Don't give her stuff when she hasn't earned stuff. You know what I mean? That just proves that you're not. That's just that you're not a leader, really. Because if you're giving them, they're leading by taking. You know what I mean? The person who gets the stuff, they're the leader. If you're giving out, unfair stuff. You know what I mean? But they want you to think that this, being a man, or getting a woman, you have to treat them badly. No, you got to treat them. It doesn't matter how you treat them, really. What matters is you have to be a leader. Okay. Now, if you want a terrible relationship, you can be a bad leader. They'll follow you. You'll get someone who will follow you, because that's what a woman is a follower. Now you have a whole bunch of men out there just treating women like crap because they know that they can get that woman. You know what I mean? If they don't care about them and they act like they don't give a crap and blah blah blah. It's not about. Let's say you go over your woman's house. Like I'm guilty of all this stuff. I've totally changed my. If you would talk to me 2 years ago, or a year ago rather, my ideas would be totally different than today. Okay, I was always treating my woman like a queen. Yeah, you know what that got me. Yeah, she acted like a queen then. Yep. I mean, she knew that I would put her first over myself and everybody else. I'm going over her house instead of, what you're telling a woman when you go over to her house 5-6 days a week when you're just dating, right? What you're telling her is that you don't care about what you're supposed to be doing, which is, you got to have your hobbies, you got to have your family, you got to have your friends, and when you give all that up, right, and you start spending all your time with your woman, her biology says this guy's a terrible leader. He just abandoned his family, abandoned his friends, abandoned all his whatever. Now he's spending time here. He his hobbies were, helped him in his job or something, or or made him be in shape, and now he just gives up on this and that. And yeah, that's how she sees, A woman comes to you and says, I don't want you to hang out with your family. I want this. I want that. I don't want that. I don't want you to do this, blah, blah, blah. And you know that it's unfair, right? You can either treat her like a queen and she'll act like a queen, which is an entitled dictator. You can give in to her demands, but what happens is, in the short run, you will win. Yes, she won't complain. In the short run, you will get, she gets her way, everyone's happy. But in the long run, you're teaching her that she's in charge and that you are not the leader, okay? And yes, her words, her conscious mind might want you to, her conscious mind and her voice is saying, I want you to do this for me, even though I don't deserve it. If you give in to that demand and you give it to her, you have shown her that she's the leader, okay? And what do women hate? They can do that consciously. They think that's what they want, and so they're like, yes, I got my way, so I'm goody, yay! But the whole time, back in their subconscious, where all their biomechanisms are, they have a survival biomechanism, a survival one, gnawing at her. You selected a man that does not lead. He is making you be the leader. He is not a leader. He is not worthy. He is not worthy. He is not worthy. So you can either take the long run, because that's going to gnaw. In the long run, if you give in, you become a bad leader. That mechanism, that survival mechanism, is just going to gnaw at her, and at her subconscious, not at her conscious, at her subconscious. And sooner or later, it'll flow over into her conscious, and she'll be asking for more and more crazy stuff. and she'll be doing more and more crazy, wrong things, you know, and you're like, why are you doing this to me? Why do you hurt me doing this and doing that? Because she's mad that you are making her be the leader. She's going to make you pay. Okay?